Jay Dizzle.
Why do you look so excited to be here, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Because we can't hear you.
We're going to start the show off like this. Why? Why? Why?
Nothing.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, let's just bring these guys in and see what happens.
How's it going?
Spencer. Good. Micah.
Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Micah, yeah? Well, maybe Trey will come back in. I think it's always Trey's fault. Well, we're on here.
His end.
Yeah, probably. We're on here. We're going to talk about Bull Shoals, and we're going to do a little different this time. We're going to bring on the team side. I think you guys have Team AOI just about all wrapped up. We'll see at the last event, but who knows? Trey's back on here. Let's see if I think he's still frozen. But yeah, I want to bring you guys on, talk about Bull Shoals, and you guys took home the win on Saturday. So congrats, guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'm back.
Trey, there you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Well, I got these guys introduced, Trey. So who do you want to start with, Spencer or Micah?
Let's start with Spencer. He's always holding something back. Micah's pretty much told us a little bit of the juice. Let's start with Spencer. Spencer, what'd your morning look like?
I caught one 10.5 incher in the first, I think, hour and a half or something like that. Maybe first 2 hours, but it was so dark at the gate, I couldn't see anything, and I wasn't super familiar with the area I was fishing either, so I was just kind of going in blind for most of those areas. I had a couple spots that I knew were okay, but I didn't have anything great. In my practice, I caught one that was 17-ish, and all my other fish that I caught that day were like 12 inch or smaller, just doing random stuff, basically anything. So I didn't have a whole lot out of practice. Showed up on tournament day and out the gate, caught a dink on a chatterbait. Kept covering water, kept trying new things, and I just picked up the frog, had one tied on, and I started catching a couple decent ones covering water quickly. And from there, I caught a pretty good limit, and by 9 o'clock, that bite pretty well shut off for me. So that was my morning at Bull Shoals.
Yeah, you didn't make it to awards, is that right?
Yeah, I tried running further and further down lake, and that never really seemed to pan out. So
what was the coolest? So we kind of know where you were at, maybe not exactly, but what was your water temp?
Water temp was anywhere from like 70 degrees to, I mean, close to 90 towards the end of the day. It was pretty all over the place.
Yeah, I think on Thursday the coolest I seen was 64, and then the warmest I had seen was about 89. So really trying to find that really sweet spot in between that 78 to 82 kind of seemed where there were some bites at. So yeah, it's interesting.
There were bites in like the entire range of temperatures. It was interesting though to see it as the day went on. Our water clarity and temperatures would change, as the hours went by, and areas that would have been good earlier shut off, and vice versa, further and down the lake.
Yeah. So a frog, that's something you don't hear a lot of people talk about, especially when it comes to Bull Shoals. I think Dane was pretty transparent a few years ago, caught him good on a frog, and it's just one of them lakes where there's not a ton unless it's flooded, where you can throw a frog. And I threw a frog too. Never got bit on a frog, but a popper. So topwater early was also, it was productive. It wasn't the fish that I needed, but yeah.
Spencer, you said you were covering water like pretty quickly with the frog. So was it like a traditional frog, or was it just normal, like you're just walking it kind of deal?
Well, I know that I like to throw those Teckle frogs, and I like throwing those quite a bit. But in practice, I was throwing a buzzbait in the same areas, like really shallow wood and that kind of stuff, almost like reeds and dead grass. And a lot of those fish were missing it. And I knew if I tied a tackle on, it'd be the same story. I'd get through it easier, but it'd probably be an even worse hookup ratio on all those fish. So I tried something a little bit slower, which was just a traditional frog, just working it fast, that stuff, because it's a lot to cover. And they had an easier time eating it, at least. I had a few miss it that probably would have helped me in that morning period, but that's kind of how it goes throwing a frog.
Yeah. That Teckle frog is pretty special. It's kind of like a whopper plopper and a frog had a baby. I found that especially on Tanny, that's a really good frog. But I have found that it's, unless they're just totally eating it, that frog is sometimes hard to hook up with. But
you got to modify it a good bit for sure out of the package. I mean, the hookup ratio you're getting those things out of the box is not very good. I can agree with you on that.
yeah.
So what do you think? You guys think you got the team side locked up, Spencer?
Locked? No, definitely not. We've had another pretty good season. Our second year as team series fishermen here, but I'm not sure if lock is the word I would use looking at those points. But I think the door's open for anybody at this point. It's really just coming down to pond the tear. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun event. There's a lot of people up there that are like in that 17 to 24 range that are really battling it to make that 20 spot. You've guys got a lot better bumper when it comes to the singles to be able to get into that. So, with really no shot at AOI, I would think, we know that Micah pretty much got that. When we just talk about on lock, Micah pretty much has that on lock, and needless, so he's had a great season. But yeah, I think it's going to be really, really cool to see that again, that 17 to 24 spot. And unfortunately, I'm right in the middle of it. So it's one of them events when we're just talking about Palmy where for some guys it's just a fun tournament. It's going to be fun, and there's not a lot of stress because they know they can't get to 1, but they know they can't get under 20. And for some of us, it's like it's nerve wracking. So for sure. And I believe all three of you are all under the top 10 right now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Spencer's in 7th. I'm sitting in 6th, and Micah's leading the pack.
Yeah.
With a whole lot of points.
Yeah.
Spencer, going on the team side, you all but locked up. I mean, do you guys feel pretty confident going to Palmy? Like, do you feel comfortable being there?
I mean, I don't have great history at Pond de Terre. That's mostly because I don't have much history at Pond de Terre, though. I feel like if I really put my head down, I could probably figure something out there. But I mean, I know a couple decent areas, nothing to write home about yet, but that's kind of something I'll try to hone in the next few weeks before we end up going.
If you could pick any lake to put this on, let's say to put that on, what would be your lake? What lake would you choose?
Of the lakes that we fish or lakes we don't fish?
Lakes we do fish.
Oh, I'd probably pick Stockton. I mean, I've always liked Stockton. Stockton's a fun lake.
Okay.
You gonna whip that pedal drive out for the grassroots series on Stockton?
I thought about it. I think I'm gonna take a weekend around here and learn some new water. But I'm kind of debating still. I don't even know if there's open spots for that grassroots series event or not. But I'm sort of debating. I could if I want to.
Well, Micah, tell us about your Saturday, man. It was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it was dark starting out. The fog was crazy. Me and Tyler pretty much figured out we were both racing to the same spot. And we got there about the same time and found out that the exact spot that we wanted to start on was about like 100 feet away from each other. We were both fine with that, kind of shared the water. And we both kind of stayed there for a lot of the day. I had a milk run I hit, but that was kind of my main area. It's just kind of a backwater area where several backwater areas kind of all connected. And there's just a good concentration of bait fish there. Me and Spencer, we fished probably the last 3 or 4 hours of pre-fishing, just pretty much side by side, just throwing buzz baits, just having fun, and I think we averaged like 1 fish for every 10 blow-ups. But it was still fun, and we found that area at the end of the practice day, and it just looked good. And I kind of gambled on it tournament morning, and it paid off pretty well. I caught 3 over 16 in the first hour or hour and a half or so. I think that's right. And yeah, I just kind of had to piece together everything the rest of the day. It's mostly on a chatterbait. I caught some other fish on things like drop shot and swim bait or swim jig.
Yeah.
Caught one on a buzz bait, but it was like under 12 inches, so that buzz bait bite just completely went away. But me and Spencer were both fishing in the same area. I mean, Tyler was there, Chad was right down there. Trey, you're right down there too. We're all kind of around each other, and pretty much all of us got checks in that area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was just fishing ultra shallow. Tournament day, they were just not wanting to chase as much, so I kind of had to really slow down that chatterbait and just kind of feather it through the debris and dead grass and wood and all that. Basically fish it like a swimming worm or something. Because the day before, I could have burned it on the surface and they probably would have hit it, but it just changed their temperament sometimes. That's how
Yeah, you send a swim jig. My biggest fish came on a swim jig, and it was in practice, and it was right at about 19. But yeah, swim jig surprised me too. So
I'm going to ask this, and you guys can share if you want, but why Forsyth? Why does everyone, does it just feel like you guys can catch a lot of fish there, better fish there? Is it water temp? Like, what do you guys think? Beyond, like, completely, I've never gone up there and fished it. Everybody knows that everybody's up there fishing it. And
I think a lot of it plays into what your strengths are, like what you like to do. If you like fishing current or you like fishing shallower, I think generally that area is going to be better for that. If you like clean water, being by yourself, especially because there are quite a few people that are up in that area like every year, being by yourself, fishing cleaner water, offshore docks, whatever, it's not the place for you. But if you don't like any of that, it's not a bad area.
Yeah, water temperature definitely plays. I mean, I think Josh said we're going back there in June next year, so it might not play as well in June. Just we might have some like post-spawn stuff going on where the lake might fish better as a whole. But in like the mid to late summer and early fall and stuff, like the water temperature at the spillway was like 60 degrees at Forsyth, where like if you go 10 miles down the lake, it's 88 or whatever, like in the main channel. And so I feel like there are bass that kind of enjoy that temperature, and the spillway gets more oxygen in the water. I don't know when that dissipates, like when that becomes a factor. But yeah, I think in that particular time of year, that area just produces. And I mean, there's going to be a good amount of people that don't like us shining a spotlight on that area like we're doing right now, but it just does.
Worst kept secret in MoYak.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, and in June, you're right. I think that the Theodosia side's going to fish a lot better, and there's going to be a lot more people at Theodosia side. That's where everybody should go next June is, really push towards Theodosia because that's where the bite's going to be. So, yeah. Agreed.
I will settle.
You know, I do got a question though, and you bass nerds can maybe help me out here. So speaking of how that water temp down there at Power Site is at 60 degrees and it kind of stays down there, Micah, how does that play into winter fishing? We know that you are a winter guru. So if the whole lake's cold, wouldn't you rather fish where it's been cold at pretty much all year, and then fish are going to be more acclimated to that?
Yeah, last year I didn't, but it was definitely on my mind to go there because that's kind of my strategy at Taneycomo typically is to fish closer to the Table Rock Dam because the water's warmer in the winter than it is by like Rockaway. And I think fish are just slightly more active in the warmer water. I don't think there's any more fish or anything. I think they're just a little more active. This past year I went to Lead Hill in the winter series. Just I know that area well too, and I just kind of made a decision driving up the morning of, honestly. And it paid off. I don't know what I would have caught at Forsyth, but I almost caught 90 inches at Lead Hill in December, whatever it was. Yeah. Something I was talking to people at the ramp about that Forsyth area. You know how bass kind of tend to have different personalities and tendencies in the different lakes that we go to? I've always struggled in that area catching fish in those temperature seams. Because typically, like if we fish a river, there'll be like current seams and it'll also be a temperature seam. And you can find the different seams and see where the bass kind of sit. But wherever I fished and try and like right on the edge of, where it's the main channel, like 70-degree water or so. And when it goes into those backwaters where it can get to like 85, like 30 feet away, I just have not had good luck in those seams, which doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like that would be the hot spot.
Right.
I spent a lot of my pre-fishing trying to figure out a seam bite. It just didn't pan out for some reason.
Probably with a Carolina rig too or something.
Yeah, it was in there. I caught a couple of Carolina rig fish tournament day, but they were just small. It wasn't like it was last year.
When you talk about that temperature seam, we see that a lot at the Taney 20, in what is Bull Creek and the main lake there. It seems like that temperature kind of meets there, in the middle. That's where, a lot of guys will target that too. But makes sense.
It was pretty cool seeing where there was one section up there, kind of right down from where you guys were at, where just all that grass from Taney was at. Like you could just see it all over the top of the water. And it was really kind of crazy to see how much that water fluctuated just from right there to where that grass was at.
Yeah, I found tournament morning way downstream. There was a huge, massive mat of grass that was moving down, and it was still pretty dark out, but I could hear fish blowing up on the surface everywhere.
Yeah.
And I had a spook tied on. It's like 30 feet of water. I could see like current seams on the edge of the grass, and I was like, well, if these are bass, they're good ones. So I picked up a spook, threw it along the edges of it for 15 minutes. It didn't take me long to get blown up, and I figured out that they were all big striper that were just out there in the middle of the lake feeding off of that grass mat.
Yeah,
I
right there.
a pretty decent one, so it was cool.
Yeah, right there next to that island that's right out there in the middle. We were there.
Yeah.
I was there on Thursday, and dude, there were so many stripers and so many white bass just loaded up on that little island, like in that little just bar right there in the middle. And I sat out there for like 45 minutes just slamming white bass. And just I had big stripers just blowing up on it. There were thousands of them. And it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Oh man. Seems like Palmy's forever away, but it's right around the corner. I'm excited.
It's quick.
About that event.
Yeah, that event's going to be cool, guys. We're going to have our awards. Hickory Ridge is going to be our host sponsor for that again, which is really cool. She only has a couple rooms available, guys, so make sure you call and get your room reserved. They're also going to make some brats. Josh is probably going to announce this. I'm probably jumping the gun here, but they're going to make some brats. They're going to make some plates. They're going to have just a flat plate-free fee. For you guys that know, you guys know Lance, and this is his family, and they kind of go all out for us. So that's where our awards are going to be. So Hickory Ridge, it should be a good time. I think they do have one camper for rent. You can ask her about that, and I believe she has a couple other smaller units for rent. You tell her with your MoYak, and I'm sure she's gonna give you a little bit better discount. I don't know how much that's gonna be, but they cater to us very, very well. So that's Hickory Ridge.
So let's talk about the championship. We're going to Lake of the Ozarks. Micah, are you excited about that? Are you looking forward to that? What do you think?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
us?
It kind of shorted out. Were you asking me a question?
Yeah, championship on Lake of the Ozarks. Does that excite you? Does that make you nervous? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't have a good feel for that lake yet. I mean, I've got some checks there and stuff, and have areas that I like, but for the 250 and the championship, especially the 250, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't have like a big bass area. I mean, I could go like everybody else to like a release ramp and just, try to get lucky over there with the crowds, but that's not really kind of what I want to do.
I know that tournament, there's going to be the William Warrior tournament too. So right now they got over 100 boats in that one. So we will have some company that weekend on that Saturday. I just seen that come out this morning, I believe. Strike Force is sponsoring that tournament. So there'll be some traffic that weekend, but there usually always is on Lake of the Ozarks. So
Yep.
I think it'll fish good.
I think it'll fish really good. I know JP last night, I mean, they cashed a check with 18, had a 5-pounder. Steve Varner for Bait Cave. They had a big bag last night on the another Wednesday nighter. So yeah, it's fishing really good right now. So
Spence, he's probably got some inside knowledge.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't have any idea where I'm going yet. I mean, I have not been on them on Lake of the Ozarks that good this summer in particular. Especially the night bite's been kind of weird out here. I do that a lot here in the summertime, and it's been a lot slower once the sun goes down, which is unusual for mid to late August out here. But that could just be me too. I haven't had a lot of time out here in this lake. I'll be spending more time on this lake before the championship, hopefully getting ready, hopefully figuring some stuff out. And I'm happy that we get a 2-day event here on Lake of the Ozarks. That'll be fun.
did you fish last night?
Yeah, that Wednesday nighter, it was a whole ordeal. Motor problems, so we were stuck in the vicinity of PB2. So nothing crazy.
So is that the one JP fished, or was that Varner? Who took first in that?
I wasn't around for that one. I know it was a 15-pound bag that won it. There were 2 bags that were 15 that took the win at a 4-fish limit. It's pretty good.
Yeah. That was Jonathan Pimenthal, who we will have on as a guest, talking about state championship. We will have him. Also, E-Factor, he'll be on, and there are some talks for someone else, but I'm not going to leak that out right now. But we're gonna have some hammers. But yeah, Justin Swast and and Jonathan Pimenthal, and then they have a special guest that they're going to bring on. So excited about that.
Trey, you got anything else for these guys? Any other questions?
Not really, man. You two, you guys just speak for you guys' self, man. Like, you guys are always there. It's very rarely, it's hard to win a bass tournament. I was actually talking to Kira about this. It's hard to win, but where you really see that consistency at are them guys that are always within that top 12, right? There's just something to say about that. And it seems like you two are, not on the team side, but let's just individually and on the team side, you guys are always within that top 12. So that just speaks to just your fish IQ and just how you break down water. Micah talking about how he, was trying to find a pattern within that temperature seam. That's what separates, the guys that are cashing checks consistently to the people that are, you know, struggling to catch a limit. So you guys got something figured out. You guys got something dialed in, and yeah, it's exciting to sit back and watch you guys. And also, do you guys throw the clap tail? Do you like this thing? I have not got bid on it
It's
yet.
pretty good.
It's loud.
Dominguez, what do you think about that?
What you think about it, Didi?
You know what?
Oh, he
I
likes
caught
it.
him in practice the last 2 Sundays on a Berkeley Chapo, and I tied one of those on thinking it would be great, and I didn't get bid on that, but I could get bid on the Chapo. So I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't caught a fish on it.
I
But
haven't
it is
either.
loud. It does clap. And yeah, I wish I wanted to catch
Yeah.
him on that, but
It sounds like it should catch a fish, right? Like you're like, something's got to eat that. I haven't either, dude.
I like them. I've had some success with them. I caught over 90 inches at Truman pre-fishing just on that.
wow.
Okay.
I don't really like throwing a buzzbait very much, just because the hookup ratio is just not great, and I don't know. It's not a bad lure, but I feel like if I'm gonna throw a buzzbait, I'd rather throw that because it sounds like a buzzbait. And although the landing ratio might not be quite as good as a buzzbait, you know, you're gonna hook up on those short strikes. And if they want something more subtle, like, you know, I think the Chapo, to me at least, seems more subtle.
Yeah, for sure.
You could definitely fish a Chapo slower and get a better sound out of it at a slower speed.
That's true.
That claptail, you can't get as good of a sound slower from what I've been able to, you know, fish them with.
I'll be throwing it at Lake of the Ozarks.
Why don't you guys think A-rigs work in the summer? If bass are if bass are chasing shad all year long, why can't you go out there with an A-rig and just smoke them in August? Or can you?
They're educated with it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think it'd be almost easier in the summer sometimes, though. Like if they're really eating, I don't think I don't know how smart bass are with when it comes to seasonal weather and water temperatures with when they're expecting to see certain baits. Because I've actually wondered that recently with an A-rig. It's kind of something where it's like, I don't know if you should pick it up or not. You know, there's a lot of different baits that you can throw in the summertime over brush pile or schooling fish or whatever. And it's kind of hard to tell if it's even something that's worth dabbling with in the first place.
Yeah. I will say that, and I only bring that up, and I'm not going to say who it is, but a boat guy on Stockton, just a hammer, wins a lot. Not Luke Roth, I will say that. Somebody else. And they were out there and they were on a point throwing an A-rig. And I was on my kayak, I was going by him, and I'd seen him hook up with one, seen him hook up with another one. And I kind of slowed down. And he waves at me. I wave back at him. I said, "Man, you're throwing an A-rig?" I was like, "I only thought that was a winter thing." He says, "Yeah, that's what we want him to believe." So it's kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like, and I know Tornado Innovations is coming out with that little mini A-rig, and I don't know, man. I think that I think that I've talked to a few people, and there's some science behind why they don't eat it as good in the winter, summertime, but to me, it just doesn't make sense. I can't wrap my head around why they wouldn't if they're out there chasing bait fish, anyways. So.
I think sometimes those bass chasing bait fish, I mean, we've all experienced it where they're just busting like crazy. It looks like they'll eat anything. And then you throw everything in your tackle box and they're just not having it. That happened to me at Bull Shoals tournament morning. That little pocket I started in, there was a wolf pack of like 16, 18 plus inch fish, like solid fish. I saw them coming out of the water, just pinning shad up against the bank, like just super aggressive. And I threw, you know, popper, spook, clopper, chatterbait, swim jig, drop shot, spoon. Like I was just going through like everything and couldn't get them to hit anything. And it was barely dark. It was barely light enough that I could tell that I wasn't throwing it on the bank. Like So how are they seeing the difference between my bait in the dark, and just them just destroying little bait fish? I think we have senses that are just a little better than we think.
At that scale, if it's especially this time of year for whatever reason, they get keyed in on those really tiny bait fish sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a profile thing when it comes to that. Because they don't need to see anything to feel the profile of the bait. But at the same time, if they're eating that good, you think it really wouldn't matter in the first place.
Yeah, I threw like 2-inch topwaters and drop shots and stuff too that were like really tiny. And I ended up catching one 17 3/4 out of that group eventually on a drop shot. But I threw at them for almost an hour. And I don't know. I just feel like they can see and feel more things than we give them credit for sometimes. And I don't know if there's an answer to your A-rig thing, but I feel like that's part of it.
That's all I got, Jonathan.
Me too. Micah, Spencer, appreciate you guys coming on, taking time out of your schedule. And we will see you guys at Palmy.
I do know we got some guys in the
going on.
Well, I do know we got some guys fishing the Bassmaster event up in Wisconsin. Yeah, I think Stoney's up there. Adding Dynamite's up there. Adam was on some good fish this morning. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool to watch our guys up there, and hopefully they can come back with a trophy. So I think next week we have Troy, Inky, and Zach on to kind of talk about how Bull Shoals went for them, and what they did to figure it out. Something about Troy Inky. I was in my car just talking to myself the other day. That dude, and I'm gonna say this to him when he's on there. That dude either like doesn't do well at all, like he's in like 30, 40th, or he's like 1, 2, or 3. Like there's no in between ground for him. Like I feel like every time he goes out, he swings for the fences, and that's how that's gonna be. Like I can go out there and just secure limits. But the cool thing about Troy is I don't think he cares about going out and securing a limit. It's like he just goes out and tries to win. And that's why you see that drastic change. Like it's very rare you see Troy anywhere from like 13th to 27th place, right? It's either a top 5 or it's 30 to 40s. Like there's no middle ground for that dude. Like he's just swinging for the fences, and that's inspiring to me. So. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can look back at statistics and I'm totally wrong, and that's just how it registers in my brain. But that's kind of what I think about when I think of Troy. So I'm excited to have him on. He's, he's just always fun to talk to. He's just inspiring and uplifting. Yeah. And then the Bass Jedi jig man himself, Zach Wolverton.
That's funny. I have a feeling you can't hear me, Trey.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Jonathan.
That is so weird. We kicked those guys out, and nobody can hear either. You can't talk to
All
each
right,
other.
yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're out of here. We'll see you guys on the flip side.